Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today's the day to plant the annual annuals. This year, there's going to be some differences. For the last 2 years, I've been planting a version of the all annual mix that has way less flowers to it because I mistakenly believed that the Queen Anne's lace that was included in the list was the same as the Queen Anne's lace, or at least that's what we call it, the wild carrot that grows around here, which is incredibly invasive. And I just had a garden full of that stuff. But I believe that was just natural because it's in the area. And I believe I have the Queen Anne's lace under control. And I should have no problem with this. If it's just an annual, it won't come back next year and it won't take the garden over. This has, I don't know how many are on here. This is probably 30 different flowers in here. This is what I used to plant in the garden, and it's just gorgeous. But then, like I said, I had the problem with Queen Anne's lace taking the place over, and that was before I did weeding or anything like that. So hopefully that problem is now under control, and we're going to have a really gorgeous garden this summer. The zinnia cut and come again, that's the same as last year. I'm going to plant it right here, except the very border at the grass up there, I'm going to plant this baby snapdragon, which is toad flax. It's nice and small. I wrote it down here so I wouldn't forget. 10 to 15 inches, so they're real little and they won't distract from the zinnias. Last year I split the zinnias in half. This is a 1/4 pound. I put 1/8 of a pound in with the annuals, and last year I only had a 1/4 pound of each last year. I put 1/8 of a pound here, and that was it. And then I added the 1/8 of a pound of zinnias to the annual mix and planted that in the ditch garden. What I'm going to do this year is plant just this with a few of these on the border, and I'm going to still split this in half and plant half here, but I'm going to take the other half and plant that at the far end of the ditch garden, just all zinnias. So it should be a spectacular show this summer. So what I'm going to do now is mix the seeds with sand so they toss easier. Then I'm going to go out and rake the areas where they're going to be tossed, rake them lightly, and after I toss the seeds, I'm going to step them in firmly, and we're going to have rain again tonight, and I'm guessing they're going to be up within, a week, maybe 10 days. The zinnias will come up real quick, but the annual mix will come up at all different times. So let's get some sand and some containers and get this stuff mixed up. Okay, we're going to start with the zinnias. I only want to add enough sand so that I can evenly distribute the seeds. I've never planted the area that I'm going to plant in the ditch before, but I've planted this before, and it doesn't take many seeds to completely fill this garden. So I'm going to have to kind of play this by ear, but I believe like 1 bowl-ish full should do the trick. So I'm going to mix that up, put them in my bucket, and we'll get to planting. Okay, that's our zinnia mix. Okay, little distraction there. All right, the zinnia seeds are all mixed up, and this garden is first. Because I'm going to be doing that toad flax on the outer edge there, there's not going to be a whole lot of seeds tossed in here. And because it's been raining for the last couple days, I really don't need to get in there and scratch the surface first. It's rough and damp enough so that when I toss the seeds, they're just going to stay put. They're not going to like roll down the hill. So I'm going to toss the seeds, then I'm going to get in there and just rake it lightly. Then I'll go around and step everything in, and then we'll get down to the ditch garden and distribute the rest of the seeds down there. I have to keep the camera exactly where it is because we have some pretty high winds today. Okay, last year I had a ½ pound of seeds total. This year I have a pound of seeds total. So last year the ditch garden came right up to the edge of where the prairie drop seed is right there. Right about here, and then it kind of mingled in with whatever was growing here. This year I have a full pound of seed for the ditch garden and a ½ pound of zinnia seeds. So I believe I'm going to go from right about here, right where the hot rod is planted, and work my way down the hill. And like last year, I'll mingle seed in with the grass and stuff, and it'll slowly taper out to nothing. And as the rain takes some of it away, it'll wash down and it'll be growing in the ditch down there by the vineyard as well. So like the other garden, I'm going to start right here by the hot rod. I'm just going to toss it on the ground and rake it in lightly and then step it in, and then we'll go mix up the stuff for the main garden. That takes care of the light raking. Now I'm going to get the toad flax planted all along the edge here, all the way up, as well as the rest of the ditch garden seed. Then I'll go back, after raking that, I'll go back and step the whole bunch in. So with the toad flax here, that is just going to go on the borders. It's going to go on the border right here and the entire border of the ditch. So if I get to the end and I have more seed left, I'll just slowly distribute it and walk back with it and get rid of all of these seeds on the edges only. I may do some of the inner edges as well. We'll see when we get there. I had to go get a bowl because this toad flax, oh, maybe I didn't get a big enough bowl. Holy moly. This stuff is incredibly fine. There's got to be a million seeds there. Well, there's no way on earth that there's enough room. Well, there's no way on earth there's enough room for all these seeds to come up. I may have to adjust how much of this stuff I get next year. But if there's any seed that needs mixing with sand, this would be it. It's like a quarter of the size of a poppy seed. Yeah, if you were to seed this even out of a seeder, you would get hundreds of seeds in each little spot you tried to seed. I mean, you'll probably get that with this sand as well. Incredible. Well, this was a quarter pound. I think next year I should probably get just a little packet or something. This is a lot of seed. Alright, well, I need the rest of the sand for my other seed, so this is going to have to do it. This should be very interesting. It was probably in the description how many seeds you get per pound, but obviously I didn't look. But it was cheap. So whether they all grow, I have no idea. My prediction is that we are going to have toadflax coming out of our wazoo this year. Yeah, you can even see the seeds. There's so many of them in there. Okay, that'll do it for the toadflax. Hopefully that wasn't too many seeds. We'll find out. This is my first year with that stuff, and it's going to be a learning curve. So next is the all-annual big color wildflower variety mixture. And there's way too many of these to name, so I'll put these all in the description for you. So let's open this up. I know what this seed looks like. It's a mix of a bunch of different seeds. Some are really big, like 1/4 inch nearly, and some are really small like the toadflax. So again, mixing it with sand is a real good idea. So let's open this up, get this mixed up, and finish up this planting. You can see there's sunflower seeds in there, but whoops, gonna get a plant right there. But some of the seeds are pretty good size. All right, let's get this mixed up. Well, that's a lot of seed. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up. Next thing I gotta do is get in here and weed. I'm gonna do that probably tomorrow. I got a bunch of stuff I gotta get done today, but getting these seeds in the ground was a big thing. It's gonna rain for a few days. I gotta do work in the vineyard, so I really had to get this done today. Probably should have got it done a couple days ago because we've had a couple days of rain already, but it is what it is. As you can see, I just tossed the seeds on the ground and very lightly raked here and there. I didn't rake the whole thing. Otherwise, you might end up with a whole bunch of buried seeds and they're not going to come up. Some of the seeds are on the surface, some are a little bit under the ground, some are a bit more under the ground, and whatever grows, grows. There's way too many seeds here, and they're going to figure out who gets to live and who doesn't. But every year, this is just packed with flowers, and it's going to be the same way this year. I went and got my roller measure just to see how long this is, and the entire garden is 270 feet, and the part I planted with the annual mix, that big mix, is 170 feet, and then it goes to zinnias after that. So this should be really interesting. As far as the toadflax goes, that's planted basically in the road the entire 270 feet. I have no idea how that's going to do, but I do know how the other stuff's going to do. The other stuff is going to do just fantastic. This entire area will be filled with like 4-foot tall flowers and a bunch of smaller flowers on the edge, and it's going to be awesome. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.